Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CCNB's webinar on psychosocial recovery coaching. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Kaz Dawson. I'm the CEO of CCNB. We're very pleased to be hosting the Psychosocial Recovery Coaching webinar today. And we've got participants joining us from all across the sector: Department of Health, Northern Beaches Mental Health Interagency Committee members. We've got some local providers and coordinators, and also some customers and potential customers of psychosocial recovery coaching. So we're very pleased to have you all joining us online today. As we kick off, I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which we are all meeting today. I'm coming to you from Cammeraygal land on the beautiful northern beaches of Sydney, but I would like to extend my respect to Indigenous elders past, present and emerging from all the lands across our nation and wherever you are joining us from today. I'll also note that at CCNB, we're proud to support the Uluru Statement from the Heart to achieve justice, recognition and respect for our First Nations people, and acknowledge that we work and walk together for a better future. So thank you so much for joining us. If you are just joining us, welcome to the webinar. Today's webinar is on our Psychosocial Recovery Coaching Program. I'm going to start just with a quick intro before I hand over to some much more well-qualified experts on this topic who I'm sure you're keen to hear from. Just as a quick overview for those of you who maybe aren't as familiar with CCNB, CCNB has a 30-year history of providing a whole range of community services, predominantly on the Northern Beaches, but now we have programs that reach nationally around the country. Some of our more commonly known programs are the support coordination that we provide in both the aged care and the NDIS space. And obviously psychosocial recovery coaching sits within the NDIS space. One of the things we're here to talk to you about in a bit more detail today is a brief overview of our mental health services, and specifically the NDIS Recovery Coaching Program, which we'll talk a little bit about. So I'm going to start by handing you over. Our first speaker this morning is Reinecker, who is the Practice Manager for Mental Health at CCNB.
Hi, everybody. Just a little bit about our mental health services at CCNB before I hand over to Trent, one of our recovery coaches. We have 3 other services here, and one is the Way Back Program New South Wales, which is a suicide prevention program offering support and linkages within the community for people who have attempted suicide, who have suicidal ideation. We also have a hoarding and squalor program, which supports people aged 50 and above who are living with hoarding challenges or who may be living in squalid home conditions. Dementia Advisory Service as well, DAS. It provides information, advice and guidance to carers and people living with dementia. And then we have our Psychosocial Recovery Coaching Program. That's the area of our team and the service we will be talking about today. Our recovery coach, Trent, will talk about why psychosocial recovery coaching is important, what you can expect from our coaches, how it works and why choose our team. I'll pass you over to Trent now to talk further about this service. Thank you.
All righty. Thanks, Beck and Kaz. Again, welcome everyone. It's great to see you all here and interested in recovery coaching. I'm excited to go into what recovery coaching is today, as I feel the service is of huge benefit to participants living with a mental health condition. So this slide, just a little bit on why recovery coaching is important. Throughout my time working as a recovery coach, I've personally seen a lot of participants drastically improve their overall well-being, connect with family and friends, the community, reduce the severity of symptoms, and progress to flourishing in life. So what can you expect from the recovery coaching service at CCNB? So we have goal setting and planning. We'll work with participants to build a recovery plan and set goals to achieve it. It helps to provide a clear path to the life that they want to live. Recovery planning consists of investigating what a participant's current situation is, what's important to them personally in their life. And then we'll usually go on and set goals together to make sure the things they find important are able to be incorporated into their life. We use recovery-oriented practice, which essentially focuses in on empowering a participant to make their own recovery choices and also building on their strengths. In terms of goals, we might use either SMART goals or open goals. SMART goals are sort of time-bound, specific, measurable. Open goals, they're more open-ended, where it's just about trying something new and trying to start a new habit or behavior. The next one is emotional and social support. So we'll offer understanding, empathy, and companionship, helping participants navigate emotional challenges and foster healthy social connections. With skills development, a coach's mental health experience, both lived and learned, helps with learning skills to manage difficulties, building resilience, and forming coping strategies for daily challenges that might arise from mental health symptoms. With community integration and resource access, so we'll look to help to link the participant with community supports. This might be, like a social group, might involve new skill building, a hobby, a sport group, or just a group where you can get some general connection with the community. We'll also look for advocacy and empowerment. So coaches are going to educate participants about their rights with the NDIS, empowering them to make informed decisions and advocate for themselves. And we're also going to be doing regular check-ins and progress monitoring. So throughout consistent communication, coaches will track participants' progress, offer guidance, and adjust the recovery plan as needed, and also celebrate all the wins. And I think this last one is probably one of the most important in terms of the recovery coaching service. So collaborating with support services. As good service collaboration eases stress on the participant, and it helps to thoroughly inform each provider or clinician. It could be a psychologist, an OT, it could be an exercise physiologist. There's really going to help to inform on the latest goals, barriers, successes of the participant, and helping to tailor their support to be more targeted. This is kind of how our program functions throughout a participant's plan. So we will assist the participant to understand and implement their NDIS plan. So just really getting to know what's in their plan, what type of services they can have, and helping link to those services, helping them communicate with those services. Then we'll look to support participants to develop and monitor a recovery plan. And we'll also provide emotional, social support and guidance as well. And then we'll help manage and monitor participants' formal and informal support. So just helping communicate with all of those supports to make the experience with that easier. And then towards the back end of the plan, we'll assist participants to understand the plan and also to prepare for their NDIS plan reviews as well. So we'll get reports from all of the different services, and we'll do our own recovery coach report and attend the plan review with you. So why choose CCNB? So CCNB has been providing recovery coaching since its inclusion on the NDIS. The coaches here have a combination of lived and learned experience of mental health and background in education, in psychology, and other mental health related education. We have coaches that have extensive NDIS experience, and we have a lot of local service knowledge here at CCNB. We've got a big team, and we all look to support each other in finding the best services around. We're also impartial, so we always will be presenting multiple options for services to clients. Deborah, our other psychosocial recovery coach, is going to help out with some questions.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah again. One of the questions that people usually ask is how do you become eligible to access the Psychosocial Recovery Coaching Program? The most important factor would be that you need to have an NDIS plan that's already in place, and you need to live with a psychosocial disability. If the participant has support coordination in their plan, but do not have recovery coaching, one of the things that they can do is to speak with their support coordinator and request a change of circumstances to request the NDIA to add recovery coaching to their plan. Sometimes it will be asked for additional documentation from a clinician to support their request, but that would be the step to follow. Okay, thank you. There's a question here about providing an example, a case study of what has been done to help a customer. Yeah, okay. So one of the examples that we can provide, I had a participant who lived with agoraphobia. COVID had a really big impact on her because prior to COVID, she was already experiencing some challenges due to a psychosocial disability, and the isolation from COVID was really difficult for her and made her further isolated, which in turn caused her to experience more symptoms. When she came to us, the first thing we did is to meet with her and work to build rapport with her and to build a recovery-oriented relationship. And once we identify the goals, the main goal that this person, the participant had, was to start little by little to start accessing the community, but it was very overwhelming for her. So what we did was we created a very, very small goal, a goal with very, very small attainable steps that could support her. We weren't going to look for a goal that was unachievable, like go out to the shopping center, and because that would not be suitable for her. So we broke the goals down into really minuscule steps. So what we did with her was we found the supports that were needed. We found a really good support worker who she built great rapport with, and she could have a sense of safety and also a sense of agency, that she was really understood and really supported to make her choices. We also linked her to a psychologist and an occupational therapist. And once the support worker started working with her and they built rapport, we started putting in place once a week time where the support worker and the client would go outside together for a couple-minute walk around the house. When she was able to achieve that, I think it took actually she did really well, about maybe a week, that we made a second goal. We had many conversations throughout the goal planning and implementation where lots of strengths building conversations, and the client could feel a sense of accomplishment about what she had achieved. And then we made the period that she was going to be outside of her home a bit longer. So we increased to, I think it was about 8 minutes. And then when she achieved that, she actually started becoming a lot more confident, and she felt ready to tackle actually something different. And she had brought up herself that she wanted to start trying to get into the vehicle with a support worker to achieve the next step. And I won't keep you going with all the minute increases in the steps of the goals. But at the moment, she was able to work with a support worker and be supported by the team to get in, to go into the vehicle and then go into a shopping center. And right now she has 2 support workers she usually connects with, and she is gone extremely well. Not only is she going every Friday shopping and having lunch with a support worker, but she is now taking classes in the community. She's taking 2 art classes, and she signed up for a gardening class. And what she's working on at the moment is to start reducing the amount of time that she spends with the support worker in the community. So she's trying to challenge herself a little bit to be able to be on her own. So she's not only supported by the support workers, but she has a good psychologist that she's built rapport with. She's got a really good mental health OT who supports her and with strategies to support her mental health and the anxiety that she experiences when she's about to leave the house. So she has some strategies that she can call on herself. And she also has a cleaner, and it's made a huge difference in the way that she the participation in the community has made a huge effort in her well-being. She also has she's also working with a physiotherapist. She had some mobility challenges, and she's well supported there as well. Okay, great question. Yes, I can see another question. The question is, how does the CCNB program differ from other programs? That's a good question. The CCNB recovery coaching program is quite different. One of the things that we've done since the beginning is to have a very holistic approach to recovery coaching. Some providers separate the support coordination and the recovery coaching aspects. So you will, the participant will be engaging with 2 separate NDIS capacity building support people. The support coordinator to link and provide link the participant to supports, and then the recovery coach to work on the goal setting and care planning. What we realized pretty early on at CCNB is that could cause confusion for the participant, and we wanted to find a more holistic way to ensure that there is no information lost. There's one person collaborating with a team, and you don't have to take separate steps to link the person. So I don't know that if the other providers would do this, but we've been doing this since the beginning to provide both services. So that way we are very knowledgeable about the person's need, and we can collaborate really well together and with all the supports. And I find that that's also really good in terms of risk mitigation. You don't have to, the participant doesn't have 2 people to communicate with. They have 1 person to communicate with who is collaborates well with a team as a whole. Thank you. Okay, so yes, the question is, what area does your service cover? So at the moment, we are focusing on the northern beaches of the northern North Shore, upper and lower shore, the northern area of Sydney. But we are very much looking forward to increasing the range of geographical range of services. And the reason why we do that at the moment is because as recovery coaches, we very much want to ensure that we're providing person-centered care and that we're able to visit the participants when needed and have in-person meetings. And we are currently located in the Northern Beaches. So that's originally the area that we've been offering. What do I do if I'm interested in the service? So if you're interested in the service, you can be in touch. So you can either give us a call or you can email us or visit the website. If you have a specific question, you would like to speak with one of the coaches, please, by all means, speak with somebody in the customer support team and ask for one of the support, the recovery coaches to call you back, and we'd be happy to discuss the situation and the person's need and whether they would be a good fit for the program or how we can support them to be part of the program.
Yep, there's another question here.
Please, yeah.
Would there be an age limit? Do you service teenagers?
So the age, that's a really good question. There is no age. Look, the program officially is from 18 to 65. years of age. So we do not work with people who are under 18 years old. We do have some participants who are older than 65. If they got the NDIS plan prior to turning 65, then they keep the plan. So we continue to work with them. But in general, officially, the program is for 18 to 65. Thank you. That's a good question.
As an extension of that, if participants or families of potential participants are interested in a service like this for children or young people under 18, what would be the pathway for them to connect with a similar program? Like, how within the NDIS context would they look for supports that sort of mirror or a pathway to this type of program?
So there is that I'm aware of, and maybe Trent can jump in if needed, but I am not aware that there is any recovery coaching like program for people who are under 18. People under 18 can have a support coordination in an NDIS plan. And depending on what the listed disability is that they live with, the support coordinator can support them to find appropriate supports in the community, whether they are, psychology, behavior support, etc. But we do not, that I'm aware of, I don't know that there's any similar program to people under 18. Trent, are you aware of any?
No, I think that's correct. Yeah.
Part of the reason why that is, when you're working with a recovery coach, you need a good, and I'm not saying that a teenager would not, teenagers would, but I think you need a level of introspection and a level of ability to engage in the recovery coaching relationship. So I imagine that's one of the reasons why that's been put in place. Look, to be honest, I would love to see, for 16, 17-year-olds to have something similar. I think it would be really, really valuable. But at the moment, through the NDIS, there isn't anything. All the linking and would be go through the support coordination to try to find community programs that could be supportive.
Thank you so much for joining us. As I think Trent, Deborah and Rebecca all flagged, absolutely welcome any more questions or inquiries. If you don't have our details, jump on the website and you can reach out to us that way, or we'll send out a follow-up email, which will also provide details to help you get in touch if you have any more inquiries, either as a potential customer or a partner provider of ours, or you're another participant in this area and you're looking at sort of referral pathways. We're more than happy to chat to you about that as well. This is just one in a series of webinars that we're running. The next one that we've got coming up is on the 7th of September, and as you can see from this slide, it's specifically around support coordination within the NDIS context. So we welcome you to register for that one. You register in the same way that you did for the one that we have currently. It's similar time frame, so 12:30 to 1:30. If you want to refer that on to anyone else that you know in the area, would be really grateful as well. The more people we can get understanding the support coordination and psychosocial recovery offer, the more likely we think participants are to be able to find the support services that meet their needs. So really encourage any of those inquiries to come through. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We're really, really grateful to have you all on board. Reach out if you have any questions, and if not, we'll look forward to seeing you at the next webinar.